Welcome to season 24 of the Dominion League. I said last time that we would have Nocturne in the league here next time I play, which is most of the reason why I signed up for the league again this season, but we don't have it yet. The shipping date has been pushed back by a couple of weeks. I think they expect it around November 14th or 15th. So I'm going to try to play as many matches with Nocturne as possible, but for now it seems like this league will be split part pre-Empires, part pre-Nocturne. My opponent Akuchi here wanted to play pre-Empires, so I agreed I could get some of these Empires matches out of the way before we get into the Nocturne stuff. So this board is pretty nice. We have arms on it, which kinda makes Double Ambassador a real nice opening. However, Spice Merchant and Ambassador looks mighty tempting here because of the draw Spice Merchant gives you. Little bit of cycling advantage while trashing a card from your deck. Not bad at all, and we both go for it, the Spice Merchant and the Ambassador opening. And so now you have to plan out your shuffle here because of arms. You can get any 3 cost or 4 cost on the board regardless of how you draw here. So my opponent draws the Spice Merchant and the Ambassador straight away, which is real nice for him. And at this point I saw 2 ways you could go. So you could go for encampments here if you like, just to try to cycle a little bit, get thinner faster, maybe try to flood your opponent with the Ambassador. My opponent goes for the black market, so I was thinking you could do either encampment black market here to start dipping into the black market, and the encampment would provide you some temporary acceleration in your deck, or you could do what I'm going to do here and go for a couple caravan guards instead. The caravan guards are solid cards and they help me get up to gold, which is quite important for the encampment. So at this point I'm trying to, once I buy an encampment, that is an investment for the rest of the game, is what I'm trying to say here. So I go for the couple caravan guards on turns 3 and 4 here because partly because I wanted to do something different, honestly. I expected this turn to be an encampment for my opponent, and he does. So a good turn for him would involve playing encampment, playing both Ambassador and Black Market. He doesn't get that though. He does not get that. I also have, this is a bad shuffle, Spice Merchant with nothing to trash, but it's okay because of arms. Another potential opening, as I don't know if I mentioned, it was double Ambassador with arms because you could just put things out to your deck and still buy things with arms, of course. Caravan Guard is a nice candidate for that. So here again, not too bad. I only lose out on some cycling and a bit of trashing here. And I'm still going to go for the Caravan Guards because I want to hit gold. I want to hit gold and then I'll start buying encampments. Another nice effect of the Caravan Guards, as you see here, is this trigger of the Ambassador. So I don't have to wait an extra turn to get the money value. I get it straight away and I am going to go for the gold. Now my opponent is quite a bit thinner than me. His Spice Merchant has drawn more than mine, of course. You remember that turn I had the 3 estates in hand. And his Ambassador is here. He has his deck in his hand now, which is pretty nice. It gives you a lot of flexibility. He doesn't have that much economy, but that's okay again because arms costs 0 and you could easily get a silver if you like. There's also Banquet at this point, which is something to be considered when your deck is that thin, but I'm not sure if my opponent has $3 in his deck. Honestly, he does go for arms and silver here, starting to build up back the economy. Now, I'm a little bit more junked than my opponent. So what I'm going to concentrate on here at this part of the game is getting some draw. I have the cards in my deck to get rid of junk, Spice Merchant and Ambassador. So I am going to try to get the draw cards in my deck so that I can see those trashers, or pseudo trashers anyway, to stabilize my deck. So that's my plan. An alternative way you could go is maybe buy a second Spice Merchant or a second Ambassador to try to trash, but I decided to go with the draw route. Hopefully I can draw everything and start cleaning up my deck. I'm not too far behind in the deck size battle, but a little bit behind, a little bit. Gold for my opponent on his last turn there, so I anticipate him coming after the encampments now. Second encampment for me here, again, just focusing on the draw. He really needs to get the encampment because he has the 2 terminals in. He's played his black market once, I believe. which is not really ideal when you buy a terminal, any terminal for that matter. He now picks up 2 encampments, getting the buy from the Spice Merchant, which is pretty nice, pretty nice. I don't go for the buy option here. I want to get to the end of my deck because I know there's an encampment in the back and it doesn't have the friendly gold with it. So I want to try to get those paired up as much as possible. Now, here I have an interesting decision. I have more than $5, so I could get something like City or Apprentice or even Black Market at this point is what I'm considering because I need to get one of those things. I can't just have my opponent pulling all the nice things out of the Black Market. I would like to fish too, see what I get. But instead of going for the Black Market, we're going to go for the last encampment. And these split piles means that, yeah, the split is always uneven, right? So somebody is going to have more than the other person, and I wanted to be the person with more encampments. Cheap draw, and is the only card that draws early on in the game here. So I'll have it. I'll definitely have it. Now I could start thinking about the black market now that my draw is in order. So I was pretty happy with how I played this part of the game. I was behind on the trashing, but I felt like the decisions I made helped me to catch up on that, and I was pleased. I was pleased. Plunder for my opponent here, so that's pretty nice. He doesn't have to rely just on the gold for the stability. Here I draw first with that last caravan just to make sure that I don't have to return any encampments to my opponent. At this point, I would love to play my Spice Merchant for plus buy, but as the cards are coming up, I can't really do so in the order that they come up in. Sorry, that was unclear, but yeah, I'm not getting the right draws to play the Spice Merchant as plus buy. So here we go. Now we can start building up and start doing more nice things, right? Look at this black market. This is nice for my opponent, the city quarter that is. I'm not sure if he wants to get the city quarter because it does deny him perhaps another buy from the black market because of the debt. Instead he goes for the replace, which is also a good card. The board is lacking plus buy and is actually kind of lacking draw until we activate these cities. Like 3 encampments are nice, but it's not that much draw, you know. It's like 3 labs really nice, but you can only do so much with 3 encampments, right? You do a lot more with 5 cities added to it, for example. So out comes the replace for my opponent. Pretty important, I think, given that the lack of plus buy on the board. You can get it from Spice Merchant, or you could wait a real long time for your cities to get there. But aside from that, you don't have any other plus buy. So I think the gaining is a reasonable option for my opponent off of the, what's it called? The replace. Yes, the replace. So now finally I'm able to use my Spice Merchant for plus buy. I know there's an estate in my discard pile, so it doesn't matter actually because I can draw everything. So I'm looking to just maximize the amount of money that I have here from the black market. I would rather not play the gold out of hand to buy things because I would like to play the encampment to draw 2 cards, the estate plus whatever it is that I may buy from the black market. Here I consider the charm and I tell myself, well, look, what are you going to do with the charm? There's nothing you could really do with the charm. I was wrong. Like I did see it. I saw City and Plunder. I was like, nah, that's not that good. Completely disregarding the fact that cities will activate if I empty the Plunder pile. So picking up the charm and going City Plunder seemed to be quite nice there. Seemed to be quite nice. So I think I missed out on an opportunity. I would not have been able to use it this turn, but perhaps next turn I would have been able to. I also kind of wanted to buy a Plunder here because it's kind of scary just to have this deck reliant on the encampment pairing with that single gold. Who knows where that gold could end up, you know? Doesn't have to always come nicely in your starting hand. The gold could be at the bottom and the 3 encampments at the top, and then you kinda stuck for a turn there. So plunder for me and arms. Thinking about second black market, and I do go for it. It's a stop card, a little bit scary because like I said, this encampment deck and encampment decks in general are fragile things because you have to make sure you see the treasure and the action card together, and there's no nice way to set that up here. There's no herbalist scheme thing or anything like that. You just have to rely on luck, and the best way to maximize your luck is by being very, very thin, very clean. But even that has its limitations as the deck gets bigger. So city for my opponent, he actually has quite a few plunders, honestly. He has 3 plunders to my 1 right now, which is a problem. Which is a problem. This is also a problem. I don't see all my encampments here. This is a pretty nice black market pull for me here, and the courtier is what I take because plus buy. Because plus buy. It doesn't draw, and this is just excellent. This is just madness. You can't give people governor out of the black market. That's crazy. I could gain gold, which is good for the governor itself, good for the encampments, good for economy. This is thrilling, absolutely thrilling. Good for draw if I need to. Absolute legend of a card there to pull out of the black market. Does mean that I'm going to give my opponent 4 plunders to my 1. So that is a bit of a concern. Not terrible though, it's just something to take note of and play around. I don't want the game to go too long because then the points difference from the encampments will start to stack up, I feel. So just have to bear that in mind and keep going. Now I remodel this ambassador here into a city. I feel like I don't need the ambassador anymore, which may be wrong. Ambassador is still good, especially in the end. But I get rid of it because I felt like there was nothing to pass to my opponent. I draw into the spice merchant, which I would have gladly remodeled over the ambassador into a gold. And I pull Haven out of the black market, but more importantly, I pull the outpost. And that, if the previous 2 buys weren't a knockout punch, that outpost absolutely is. I get 2 turns, my opponent has 1. What are you gonna do? You can't do anything, right? The most you could do is try to force the game to finish as quickly as possible with his slight points advantage right now. But I don't think the points advantage is big enough to allow him to do so. So now, sorry, excuse me. Wow. At this point, back to the Haven buy. The reason for that is just because Fairgrounds is on the board. The more things I pull out of the black market is the better my Fairgrounds get. So I'm just looking to buy as many things that are semi-useful for my deck as possible out of the black market as well. So with the outpost buy, what it means is that I would like to have a lot of cities in my deck. I would really like to have a lot of cities just to make my deck more reliable, to make my outpost turn more impactful. Is impactful a word? I don't know. But anyway, that is what is happening. Also nice with the courtier is that there is caravan guard on the board. What I mean is there's a card with 3 typings on it, which is real nice. Unfortunately, all 3 of them are in play right now, but the outpost, ta-da, has 2 typings, and well, that's pretty good. I can get another gold off of it, as well as the also important buy. The buy, which has been lacking in this game for so long. So look at this, pretty nice buys on the Minstrel and the Swindler here. Minstrel is safer, but man, I can't resist the Purple Devil. I cannot resist the Purple Devil. So yeah, this, yeah, you could get a unique card out of those 3 cards, but they're garbage. Like, why would you buy any of those things? Governor goes into the Haven there so that I have a better chance of kicking off my outpost turn, and he actually hits an encampment straight up. Yeah, that's pretty bad for my opponent. He already had just 2 of them. Now he has 1 of them. And taking away his draw is real bad news for him. Real bad news. A couple buys here, 14 and 2 buys. I go just for a couple of cities, like I said. Reliability is key to make these outpost turns kick off and really have a big impact in the game. And I do manage to have another full turn here. Which is real nice. My deck is starting to become a little bit cluttered. Like right now I don't have too much draw in my hand. The Spice Merchant is in the way. The estate that my opponent gave me is in the way. The black markets, they don't draw. The courtier doesn't draw. So eventually I managed to get out of it though. So that's good stuff. Good news. But I would like to be able to get rid of the Spice Merchant and the estate from my deck. So at some point I am thinking about buying an ambassador to do so, but not in too much of a hurry. Hunting party, yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it. Non-terminal draw, we love it. We absolutely love it. There's 1 more unique to the deck, right? I can buy Fairgrounds and have them be worth quite a lot. Again here, so this is draw as well, right? The hunting grounds and the console room. There's also nice things to do with the hunting grounds, the estates. But I say nah, I don't want the hunting grounds in the deck. It's fine. I'll just go buy a couple more cities. I draw into the gold here, which means I actually top deck the hunting party. So we are not gonna draw any further. Just leave that at the top of the deck for the next turn. So I think I gain something like 3 to 4 cities on this turn thanks to the outpost. Yeah, that's good news. That is pretty good. An empty city pile when you have the majority is yeah, commanding. Anyways, Fortune. Hey, look at that. Fortune is in the black market. That is crazy town. That is absolute crazy town. I don't think my opponent can afford it. I also don't think there's too much time for him to get the fortunes. Instead, he goes for the counterfeit here, which is reasonable as well. And I think he picks up a couple cities here. Yeah, so he replaces something into a city, a silver into a city, and buys another city. So it's we're kinda on the brink here of making these cities be quite good. So here I hope to hit a 5 cost, so I could give him a city to make my cities better. I don't, but I hit an encampment, which is pretty good. So he has no encampments now. Um, Haven here, I have to Haven something that's not a draw card. I would have loved to Haven something like a city so that I would find out my outpost turn, but unable to do so really unless I was willing to trash the gold with the Spice Merchant. Maybe I should have. Anyways, so this black market thing, I have to think about this because Stonemason actually opens up maybe an opportunity for me to end the game. I couldn't find a way to do so with the Stonemason, so I could like do something like Stonemason overpay by 5, pick up City and Apprentice or something, then use said Stonemason on a goal to get 2 duchies or 2 caravan guards, something like that. But I couldn't find a win. Maybe you could find one and let me know. I have been pretty ordinary with my endgame decisions in this match, as you'll see later. But I didn't find one, and I just decided to take the conservative route by picking up the festival for the plus buy. And here, oh my gosh, look at this, a knight and a border village. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, I couldn't resist the border village. Maybe it was wrong. Maybe I should have been playing for a game end with my outpost turn here. I do top deck a city, and I believe a border village. I would have loved to top deck an apprentice. And here I do something extraordinarily risky, unnecessarily risky. This is bad play. I do not condone this or encourage this in your games. I take the city not knowing for sure that I would kick off on my outpost turn. A city at the top of the deck is a little bit of insurance, but it is surely not enough. I know my deck has black markets, it has estates, it has numerous stop cards. There was no guarantee that I would kick off here and find enough money to buy the last 3 caravan guards and enough points, but I took the risk. It was reasonably likely that I would win, but not 100%. So for that reason, I do not condone it. I just kinda got a bit flustered and a bit fed up of the situation. I didn't want him to, replace into city and then activate a lot of his cities and maybe pile out on me. So I decided to take the chance and it worked out luckily. Anyway, game 1. Thanks for watching.